people will not do what you tell them to do. If they know you're going to check on them. So I wrapped some incentives to the monitoring system. I tell you, the kind of results that I got was the same people, just giving them some incentive. They turn into different animals. I could not even recognize them. What I was doing was I issue some instructions, pack my bag, and I leave. So I come back the next day. Have you done what I asked you to do? Oh, yes, I'm. And they still won't do it. But I'm so busy with other things that I don't really monitor how the new patients were coming in because I'm busy back there cleaning teeth, drilling teeth. So I might forget. 2 weeks later, I'll be like, can I see the report? So they'll be looking at each other like, you go give it. Well, you know what it is. My favorite staff will come and say, doctor, we didn't do it. I can't get angry. So what I'm saying in essence is that some of these things, if you make a list of them and just keep it somewhere, you know even your own weakness very quickly. I thought I was so good a manager, but I was lacking in monitoring people. That's my contribution.
Brilliant. Okay. A few things. Are we on the internet already? Let's greet and welcome everybody that is on Facebook. Hello, everybody. Blessings. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Are you still alive? Making a living? Is he still here? What about you? You want to tell me about it? Huh? You want to do some drop? What do you call it? Airdrops or what do you call it?
You want to eavesdrop?
Eavesdrop. You want to do some eavesdrops? Few questions. Number one question: are you people alive? When I made a statement when doctor was speaking that he said I've been through this before. I said you've been through this hell before, and Davida just agreed. He said it's hell. It's hell. And let me tell you, it's not just you thinking it's hell. People who are watching at home, but we only broadcast it today only in the morning and evening. Other days we'll be broadcast only in the evening. Today we only broadcasted 2 times, morning and just the evening one they were starting now. It was only morning they had witnessed, and they were saying, no, it's too intense, too intense, too intense, too hard. They were thinking it's hell just by attending one session. So I know where you're coming from. Yeah, I know where you're coming from. Is it hot like hell?
I don't know what hell looks like.
I'm asking David that on this, who says, that's what you've got to make of your life if you want to be a history maker. Yeah, Joshua. I was talking with somebody on phone today. On Skype, and the person was telling me he envies Joshua because Joshua is living in my house. I said, you want to envy him, really? He said, I wish I was living with you and learning. I said, ask him how many hours he sleeps first now before you begin to envy him. People don't look at it from that side. Then when I told him that the guy is working 18 hours a day, even without me monitoring him anymore. And he said, if I were the one, I would run away. So, first of all, you were saying you were envying him. Now you say you will run away. Success will always demand from you a little bit more. than you are willing to give. Success will always demand from you to do a little bit more than you are willing to give. So it's now the question of who is ready to give that more and to go that extra mile than you are comfortable giving. Success will demand more from you than you are willing to give. So that's number one question. Are you still alive? No answer. Yes. Which means it's time to go to the code. No. Well, if I don't get any response, I need to wake you up. I need to wake you up somehow. So I'm saying, are you still alive? The answer came clear and loud. Number two, this thing about the code, is that a confirmation of what Dr. Shorunke just said? I gave some incentives. And they turn to another animal. Just like I said, let's go to the code, and you turn to another animal. It became loud and clear. Your responses. Incentives are great stuff. People don't always do what you expect them to do or instruct them to do. They do what you will inspect. What they know that you are going to inspect. Okay, not what you expect, but what you inspect. So, the next thing I want to find out from you is, that is the thing you already spoke about, I know, but I'm going to address my own question in a way that will connect it to what we have been learning and what your destiny is, what you are planning to do, and all that. So what we went through this morning, and listen closely here now, what you went through this morning, the process you went through this morning, even though you still need time to go through it over and over again, and the more you dwell in it, the better it is for you. So you still need to go, and, yeah. So, but do you sense that there is a jewel here, there is a diamond somewhere here? Yeah. You just need to sense and intuitively pick it up that, I'm laying my hands on something here. Who feels that? You all feel it. Huh? But now it's at the tip of your fingers. You can feel it at the tip of your fingers. If you will explore it, if you will really dig deep, you are at the verge of some great discoveries, even about yourself, about life, yourself, and about your destiny. And you are holding you are holding in your hands what 99% of people living in our own planet Earth don't know. Maybe that will help you to also know that I might not be as crazy as people who think I am when they hear me talk about, what I'm planning to do, about what I'm doing. Maybe I'm not totally crazy after all. You think I'm not? You think I'm not? It's interesting to know that she thinks I'm not. I'm not. Because the thing with visionaries is that they are so far away from other people. And they have gone so far ahead that to the ordinary people, like I told you in the morning, there were three categories of people. Those who are living life, who are just living, as they say. For those people living life, they are not normal. And that's why I wanted to find out, are you really sure I'm normal? If you feel that I am normal, it means you are catching up. you could get why I was asking that question. But if it's still out of this world for you, it means you need more catching up to do. Because you are still living the ordinary life, the mundane life. You need to run. You need to rush. You need to quicken your steps very fast. You need to do some intensive training on yourself. Or you might be saying I'm normal, but really you are feeling this guy is out of this world. Anyhow, you gauge yourself. The other people, the second category of people that I spoke about in the morning, are people who know that there are rules and principles in life, and, you know, they need to fear God, obey God, try to live by the Bible, but they are still just better than the people who are just going through the motions, but nothing spectacular about them. And the third category of people that I spoke to you in the morning are the people who know that the earth and life itself could be managed and controlled. And whatever the word you told me about, just like you use the car, is it control? You steer life. You steer life. I mean, just like you steer the car, that you can actually be in charge of life as well and steer it. Is that not beautiful? So that's what I'm saying. When I am talking about that position of awareness, that life could be monitored, could be controlled, could be steered, and could be managed and ruled over. And I'm now saying, from my perspective of where I'm coming from, you don't even want to go through some of my comments that, not on this live show, but when I talk on, like, Sufficient does take some interview from me, you know, ask Pastor Sunday, some of my answers, if you see some of the comments that are coming in, people are thinking, this guy is totally crazy. I mean, he's lost it. I guess it's because some of the things I'm saying, this just make it. So they are now using their own lower level to judge my level. And they are they are so certain that they are the ones who are right. It's just like saying, when I wrote articles about Nigeria and why I was campaigning for Buhari, for example, to win, and some people were commenting on that, and they were so convinced that, how can you as a preacher, that guy has backslided? Why? So what made me backslide? How can you be a preacher and then you are going to talk about political things? Go back to your first love. So they were so convinced from there, because they are living the ordinary life. They don't even know where I'm coming from. So I'm saying, hey, Lord, by me. In the sense that, okay, for example, let him know assume that I'm missing it. But why should you be so sure of your own position? You are nobody. It's just like saying, I'm coming to Bill Gates now. And I said, Bill Gates, you said you made money that way. You know what? That thing you say you make money, that thing you say is a way to make money, you know it's not possible. Repent. So he will say, what, in the first place, who are you? How much have you made? So, when, you ask Joshua, if you see some of the comments that were coming in, I am Pastor Sunday, and they are just no human being even knows they are existing. Apart from the only thing to their benefit is that they have a computer where they can type on from their own house. They don't have enough data. So that is their height of importance, that they had that one data for 1 hour to be able to type something in. And these people are saying, okay, you are losing our respect now. You are losing respect. I have been following you for 1 year. Now, if you are going to continue this way, I'm just going to unsign myself from your... Wow! It's as if I'm the one who had been following him. are confident, though. Some people are both. It's just like some people come to my platform, my own platform, where I'm just doing my own thing. You know, I didn't go to look for them. Even if they come, I don't even know who they are. So they now come and say, Pastor, you need to change this your position, because if you don't, I will just let people will look, as if that your presence is what is fitting me. I don't know if you are coming from where I come. So I'm even thinking, I'm saying, bro. No, because even it doesn't even cross my mind to tell you to stop doing what you are doing. I don't even come to your own page to tell you to stop doing what you are doing. Even when I'm reading your opinion and I'm seeing that you are wrong, I could comment and tell you my opinion. This is what I think. But I don't give you a condition because I even know for sure, guaranteed, I can prove it, that you are wrong. But you cannot prove anything. But you are still saying, giving me condition and saying, if you don't change, you this, I will happen. I don't even tell you like that. I don't even relate to anyone like that. Even my own members in church, I don't even relate to them that way. That, you know, you do this, or this will happen. Who am I? I am their pastor. I am, you know, in this Ukraine here, I'm like larger than life. I don't even do that. To my own member, I don't even do that. To my own kitchen staff, I don't even do that. To my gardeners, I don't even do that. I can only suggest to you and tell you my opinion. But you, I don't even know if the name you are using is a name, if that person is even alive or not, or it's just a fake. And under that fake or whatever, you are coming and telling me, if you don't change now, we are going to do this and this. You are losing your authority, or you are losing your influence. You will just become irrelevant. So you will be on my platform that makes me relevant. You can use it that the only thing that will come out of my mouth is what my mother, my old grandmother used to say, oh, egba me. Which one be this? Are people so confident? Why has that confidence not helped them to change the world or to bring even themselves some relevance? At least themselves. Because I thought you should have thought that, okay, this guy has lived, even if I've not achieved anything at all. But I've lived 50 years, walk on the surface of this earth for 50 years. And I managed to walk about somehow. And I managed to exist up to today. So why is it that you that was born 30 years ago that is now coming to say, the thing you have done for 30 years is wrong, may have come to for 50 years? I've been walking around and living and breathing fresh air for 50 years. And I'm still managing to breathe and to exist. So you are not the one that was born 20 years later that is now coming and saying that they are not breathing well. Oh. Let me tell you how and teach you how to breathe. And you have not even reached 50 for yourself. You don't even know if you ever reach that 50. But I think this is probably possible only with Nigerians. We are exceptionally gifted. So when I said, do you think I'm normal? It is possible that it might appear to you that I'm not normal, which is legitimate. I believe that for 75% of people, anything I do and say is not normal. And I respect that. But they should know also that the fact that it appears to them as abnormal doesn't necessarily mean I am the one who is wrong. But our people don't like to give other people benefit of the doubt. Could you doubt yourself a little bit? And say, in case, especially since this man has got some track record, and you don't have as much track record. Maybe he could be right. Suppose he's right. Well, at least at worst, why don't you just leave him alone and say, okay, let him go his own way, let's see. Or let time tell. Let the result tell. But for you to just come because I don't understand, it means you are wrong. So I'm writing a book now. Next year, early next year, I'm going to release the book. And the book is going to be called Pastor, Face Your Calling. Because that's what they were telling me. Otherwise, you will lose relevance. Pastor, face your calling. But if I face my calling, this thing I want to show you today, I will not be showing you. And today I want to show you my plans for Nigeria, for the whole, total, and absolute, holistic transformation of Nigeria. Somebody is saying, how could you talk like that? But there are government there. There's president, governor, there are politicians. I don't care who is there. I know what I know. I am not responsible for what they know or what they don't know. I know what I know. So even though it might sound crazy for you, but just wait now. Let me fail first. So for you to now say that it's crazy, it's illusion, it's delusional. In fact, some people who have said I am delusional with this Nigeria thing. I said, you are bored, though. You just came to that conclusion. Babu. And put it. That's your own diagnosis of me. I've been delusional when I came here. They said no black man can ever lead white people. Thank God I was delusional enough to believe myself. I have never seen any more delusional person than Donald Trump. Look what has happened. I've not. You thought I'm delusional. Go learn from him. I don't know any human being more delusional than that. Maybe it's delusional people that rule the world, though. Because you've got to believe in yourself so much until other people think you are crazy. So, today I'm going to be talking to you about Nigeria. And I'm going to present to you a system. I've told you how to build systems. Now I'm going to present to you, this is not a system yet, but a preliminary, preparatory system that will make you to believe, that will turn you to a believer, that Nigeria can be fixed. The only thing that will stop that is probably if God himself stops me or takes me home. So, why am I saying this? Because of what I know. In fact, I'm even hesitating to talk now again. Because I'm just thinking, why should I even talk? Maybe I shouldn't tell you anything. Let's just wait and see. I just told you in the morning that there are no limitations in life. You are only limited by what you know or what you don't know. The only limitation in life is the limitation of your mind. You know the things to do or you don't know the things to do. Why do I talk the way I talk? Because of what I know. And not just what I know, but what I've tried. And what has worked for me. You think I've done anything in Ukraine? You think you have seen anything here? No. I've just finished kindergarten in the Ukraine. It was my school. Because in Ukraine, where they hate me, they are killing me every day. KGB is working 24 hours. There are 236 people that are working just to stop me on government pay. Secrets of people and police and detectives and everybody. And I'm still producing. So, but by the time I am in a territory where I can do what I want to do, even despite that, the disciple says that the word of God cannot be bound. Wisdom cannot be stopped. And grace cannot be limited. Do you know I don't even go to preach in church? I go once a month maybe. We have 40 churches. I don't even know where they are meeting. In Kyiv. Now, I'm not talking Ukraine, no. That one is 400. I don't even go there. I'm talking of the city of Kyiv. I don't even go. I don't even know where the meetings are. And I'm the senior pastor. Where some senior pastors who are my friend, they have to buy a helicopter or something to be flying from one branch to the other every Sunday morning. Because if they don't appear, the church will scatter. In America, in your country, that happens in your country. In fact, in Los Angeles, I've been there with another friend of mine who put me in a helicopter to be flying from one branch to the other. When I came back home, I would rather sit down at home on my own JJ and just enjoy my sleep. Can you imagine they put you in the helicopter? You minister 45 minutes here and once 45 minutes there. But if you don't appear, the thing will scatter. Okay, so I hope I could turn you to believers that there is hope for Africa. There is hope for Nigeria. I'm going to show you a little bit about some of the plans that we're putting together for Nigeria and what I'm planning to go and do there. A lot of people are afraid now that I'm coming to steal church members. And they are scared I'm coming to start a church. I don't know. Why do you think I need a church to be relevant? Maybe some people do, but I don't. I'm relevant all by myself, just like I don't need anything, no church or no member, nothing. Just by myself, I'm already relevant. It also depends on what you know. Because my essence is and my resource is not in what I possess. Because if any time I begin to measure myself, my measurement, and I begin to measure myself by what I possess, then I'm very poor. It means that I'm defined by what I have. If I'm defined by what I have or possess, it means I don't possess anything. I am zero. Because anything that you possess in the outside could be taken from you or could perish. Ask Job. So, if it is that is defining me, then I'm a poor man. That's what Paul was trying to say. If all we have hope in is in things of this earth, physical things, we are of all men most. But we don't live like that, we Christians. We are rather striving to have the things that he said will make us miserable. We are supposed to be living and be wealthy, not by what we possess or have, but by what we are. That's what caused the catastrophe in the Garden of Eden. They were already great by who they are. But Satan tried to convince them that they will be greater by what they have. So they tried to go for what they want to have. When they began to look outside for what they want to have, they lost who they were. So the problem of sin in the Garden of Eden, therefore, is not a problem of fruits. It's a problem of either you are going to live by what is inside, or you are going to live by what you possess. And the fight of life still, up to now, is still in that. Either you are going to be living by faith, which is the only way to please God. That is why when they began to look by what they see, they stop pleasing God. And when we keep on striving for things outside, things to possess, things to have, all those things, we stop pleasing God. But when we begin to live by things we know, things we are, inside knowledge, the capacity we build in us, we make him happy. So when people, even who are pastors, are thinking, I'm coming to gather members, they need to know this guy. They need to know this guy. Those things don't define me. I have not allowed myself to be defined by them. I don't need to have a church to be defined, to be wealthy, to be significant. I don't need money to be wealthy. I never have money. You know, people who know me, they will tell you, I'm always empty pocket. I'm always empty pocket. It's always empty. Never. I'm at the mercy of God. Everything I'm hearing now is because somebody gave me. I never buy anything. This one, even underwear, somebody has to give me. Anything I don't have, it means I don't need. Why? Because I live from inside. I live by faith. I live by knowledge, by what I know, by assurance, by walking in the invisible. That doesn't mean I don't have resources outside, but I don't depend on them. It's just like this house now. Do you think I'm aware I have a house like this? 2 houses. Do you think I'm aware I have it? I don't know. I don't even remember. I don't even know on whose name these houses are. It's true. It's true. It's true. Yeah, she might know. She might know. But that's true. I don't even bother. It might not be on her too. I don't tie myself down by things that are going to perish or things that I'm going to leave behind. Same with wife or children, everything. Things outside shouldn't define who you are. You are supposed to be defined by what is inside. That's the lesson in the Garden of Eden. That's the lesson of Paul. Have them. Thank God for them. I was just talking the other day about cars. I don't even know if we have cars or we don't have cars. I know we have, but I don't care. I don't even know their names. Which is working, which is not working. Don't depend on them. So that's what Jesus was trying to say when he said, seek the kingdom. Where is the kingdom? Where can I touch it? The kingdom of God is inside of you. Make that kingdom bigger and bigger inside of you. All of that is house, cars, wife, children, they will be added to you. But still, when they are added, make you go don't be distracted from inside to go outside and be looking for them and live by them. Then you will be committing the same sin Adam and Eve committed. So, but even though they were there before, but their focus was not on them. You see, those fruits were there before. But the battle was that they were now living by them. They were now focusing on them. They were there before. That's the way we are supposed to live today. The houses will still be there. The millions will still be there. The cars will still be there. But don't live by their awareness. That shouldn't be the source of your joy or your dependency. Or I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Huh? Yeah, you shouldn't. They are too tiny. They are too little. They are too insignificant. What's significant should be what is inside of you. Is that not beautiful? So when I'm going to Nigeria, people are scared and say, he's going to do. I might not even start a church. If God doesn't tell me to start, I will not even start. But I will still be as efficient and as significant as I would if I have a church. Just like I was telling you the other day, can you be as effective? Can you preach as effectively if you never open your mouth? You should be. You should be. You should be. Can you still preach effectively if you never preach? Can you ever preach effectively if you never even hold the Bible anymore? We used to be able to live an effective life. That's the higher level of life. That's why the just shall live, not by the things you see or by faith. What is faith? Where can I see it? Anyway. Okay, that's a little break before we start our next session. But I need to hear you. I need to hear you back before I start my next session. What are you hearing? What did you hear? Okay, if you don't talk, I'm going to leave all of you, and you are going to be here till 4 o'clock in the morning, because this is going to be very long. So who is going to talk now? What are you hearing? What are you getting? Okay, then stand up all of you. Anyone that wants to sit down on time should be the first ones to come out. And until you speak, you don't sit. Huh? Yeah, this is the mic. What? There is not. It's a principle. Principles are not shifted. Principle cannot be begged. Principles are rules. Since you already knew me, people don't do what they are instructed to do. Huh? They don't do what they, say it. People don't do what they are expected to do. They only do what they are inspected. What is inspected? They don't do what is expected, they do what is inspected. So you people knew what was expected, but you wanted to let me prove it practical on you. Work for you. So you didn't do the one that was expected when I say come out and talk. Oh. And I say if you don't come out and talk, that the other rule will take place. And that's how I'm teaching you how you should work with your people later on. And how you should work with yourself. If you want to be a history maker, you must be faithful to principles. Principles are more important than you. Because you will not be here, principles will still be here. And when you give your word, when you speak your word, you must make yourself a slave to that word. You must make yourself, the word should never change. The principles should never change. You should bend yourself. You should become a slave to your commitment, to your vision, and to your dream. So that's why I just can't help it. It's just the principle. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, for me, sir, it's a mindset surgery, if you like. Okay, my mind is being transformed, it's been expanded, especially to convince myself that actually anything is possible. That anything is possible. If I know what to do, and I do what I know to do, there is no dream too big that it cannot be accomplished. And
why is it a mindset change?
It's a mindset thing because I have lived with a certain kind of mindset up till today.
What kind? I mean, make you take all that. Me, I dey make myself naked before you, and you know what? Make yourself open enough for us to understand even. You are talking to us in riddles.
Okay, sir.
Are you a soothsayer?
I was trying to speak. I was trying to speak in generic terms, but the truth is, I have looked at. I've dreamt big dreams, and I've wished. I think that's the right word. I've wished I had gotten to certain places and accomplished certain things in my life. But for some of them, I've looked at them and said, "Oh, that's too big. I just don't have the capacity to do that." And even now, I know that some of the things I've accomplished, I know I could have done better. I know I could have achieved more. And some of the things in my hand right now, I have a business. The last thing you were just saying, I have people who work for me, but I think it's a kind thing to give someone an instruction, and the person doesn't follow through on instruction, and just smile at them, and I just continue with them.
And you think you are a Christian, you are kind.
I think I'm doing the right thing. No, it's wrong. I'm learning that. Okay, and I'm going to see something different. So I'm learning. So that's why I say it's a mindset.
You have to put efficiency above leniency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the mindset that needs to change. And the assignment for me is to not leave this environment and go back to where I was. It is to do everything I need to do to continue to think like I am thinking.
U was Facebook so normal idiot. To kan ya stana vlevajte. Когда будет висит, если висит, или замораживается, то не надо останавливать. Оно будет само собой запускаться. Yes.
So I was saying the challenge for me is to leave this place and continue to think like I am thinking now. Because it's easy in this atmosphere, in your presence, and with all of us here challenging ourselves, and we're all hyped, and we're saying it's possible, we're going to take the world. Well, you go out there and you begin to say some of these crazy things, and the 1,000 people around you are saying this guy has gone nuts.
Yes.
So the challenge for me is to go out there and not let the norm,
Brilliant.
okay, the general mindset to make me begin to think like them.
Yep. Thank you.
What I gathered is that we have to live from within.
Louder, please.
We have to live from within rather than.
You've got to make that apply to your own dream. Oh.
Of course.
Don't just repeat what I said.
No, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have to live. We have to live from.
Are you talking about we or yourself?
Well, I have to live from within. I have to live from within, and I shouldn't attach myself to the physical things that can perish, because those things, they're going to perish, but it's what's inside of me that's going to bring value and change things. Yeah.
Yeah, I was also going to talk about that, but from the beginning, actually, the beginning of the day, I think that we all noticed the anointing that was on you. And you didn't get to see a house game going on, but we knew that you had
house game.
You know, we were doing a kind of game, but you didn't see us. We all had the feeling that what you were going to give us today, you were talking about, do we feel like we're touching the treasure? Do we feel like we have our fingers on the treasure? So we all could see that what you were going to give us today was going to be almost getting to that treasure that we had been desiring to know. And so when you came in, you were asking us questions, you were doing all that, and we were actually fighting with each other like, cut it short, because we knew that you have something great for us today. For me, for what you came in with this evening, the question is answered. What is life, or what is life really about? And when the Bible says that Christ came to give us life, and life more abundant. And so when you came in, what I heard was abundant life is not acquiring stuff. Abundant life is he who lives in us. He lives in us, and he gives us a calling. And he wants us to be very light so that we can do that work. Really, there's too much trouble in acquiring stuff, because that's not our calling. But that doesn't mean that we won't have stuff. It will just mean that, well, you know, it's there, who cares? Tomorrow it might not be. But guess what? What God has put in me, he that lives in me,
to always be there.
He will always be there. The calling I will always be able to do, because it doesn't depend on all the stuff out there, but it depends on that life more abundant that God has given us. And that's a question that people always want to know. What is life anyway? It's because they have not found the answer. But we have the answer. But we want to be able to go out there freely, not with all these baggages that everybody else is carrying. We don't need all of that. If it comes to us, it comes to us. I love the Yoruba word that says jara. When you go to the marketplace after what is it? Jara. Excuse me. Thank you very much. You go to the marketplace, you buy what you want to buy, and the lady says she's being kind to you, and she just drops extra. Those are what all that stuff is. They're just little extras from God, but God has given us the most important thing. He lives in us. He's given us the abundant life, and he's given us a calling to redeem man, to bring man back to him. So I'm really excited. That's what I received from what you were talking
That's
about.
how you begin to, that's how you are going to be living?
Yes. Yes.
I think when you went from this evening session.
Louder, louder.
From this evening session, I think the first thing that was mentioned was it's been hot, or it's been fire, or something like that. And yeah, I believe it has been. And I think what I've learned already is that if I go home with this work ethic, there's no way I won't be successful. And I think that's what Pastor Sunday said. He said, if you want to be successful in life, you need to make up your mind to live.
All I think you might need to see it because you have a special condition. So
he says, if you want to be successful, you need to make up your mind to live this kind of life. And I feel like as soon as I go back, that's what I'm going to do.
good.
Okay. Well, what I've got this evening is that I'm made complete in Christ. And instead of drooping hair, just knowing who you are in Christ. And it's been like, honestly, a deliverance with full clarification and knowing that I carry the life of Christ in me. And so I'm made complete. And with that confidence, there's nothing I cannot achieve, but I need to pay a price to push boundaries, and I'm ready for it.
Brilliant, brilliant.
The thing that touched me today actually was when you were talking about the comments that people were giving you. And I don't know why, but I just loved your attitude saying, who are you? And I didn't quite understand until you said, I don't tie myself down to things that will perish, and I would like to change things to people. I don't tie myself down by people who will perish. And I think that sometimes...
Pretty much like, closer.
Oh, sorry.
Pretty much like Jesus said, right? That why should you fear people who have breath in their air, in their nose rays? They will perish.
Yes, and so in my life,
Don't let your life be determined or controlled by them or what they think.
Yes, so in my life, there are people who I respect and who are even Christians, and there are people who, they are good. Like there's a scripture that says, all things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. And I think that sometimes we treat people that way, like, oh, well, they're good people, and, but they're not, they're kind of almost holding you back from your purpose. They're tying you down, but they're perishable, and nobody knows where they will be in 10 or even 5 minutes, so why are my, shaking and trembling about what they're going to think if I follow this radically or I do this or that? Why do I care? They're flesh and blood, They're not, they're not my purpose. They're not the core of my soul. They're not what God has put in me.
That's why you are so free enough to wear that jeans?
Yes. It is. It is.
No, you didn't finish yet. Finish. No, she didn't finish. No. You have.
Okay.
What happened? Who put this one on? The laughter began to come out.
Well, okay. In conclusion, I'm not afraid anymore to tell people, hey, I'm not going to do this. Even though it's good to do, it's not beneficial. It's not pulling me towards my purpose. So I'm not going to be afraid to do that anymore.
It's actually almost, 2 in every 3 person in the world is always concerned about what people will say. Maybe they are family members, maybe they are acquaintances, or maybe just general public. So 2 in 3 are afraid of being totally radical. You remember in the beginning when I came in, I was asking, am I crazy? Do you really think I'm not? People are afraid of, maybe people will think they are crazy. People might be intimidated or ashamed of being called crazy. Maybe you are. Will you like it when somebody thinks you are crazy? You see, you don't want to respond. I got my answer. So you don't want people to think you're crazy, is it? Isn't it? You see?
Not anymore.
But that is also the reason why they are not achievers. Because you are concerned about what people will think or say, so you are not letting loose totally. You are not completely setting yourself free to be free to soar and to be free to go to the end, to be radical. We always try to keep ourselves in the edge, under the edge, or just under. We are keeping ourselves just on the boundary. But that is the greatest reason for failure. Let me tell you this, until your faith and commitment is absolute, it is paralytic. Until your commitment to anything you decide to do is absolute, it's lunatic, you've lost it. You have to lose it. Until it is absolute. It's not just good, big enough. It has to be totally absolute. Your commitment to anything has to be totally absolute. You have to just be crazy. Until your commitment is absolute, it is paralytic, it is limited, it is like a crawling man walking. Like a, whatever. Layman walking. So until your commitment is, it's just like saying, I have a good example. When I was in my village in Idomela, in Nigeria, I used to live with my grandmother. And she was the only one who was doing all the cooking and everything. But one day, I wanted to cheat on her. Because our hen, we were keeping some hen. Maybe just one hen. That hen put to bed. Yeah, I put some eggs to bed. Delivered some. So, because I knew she was coming in the evening. So before she comes, I wanted to at least enjoy 2 eggs for myself, just by myself, so that because when she comes, she always has her own plan. And in her plans, a total egg never comes to my way. I'm saying a complete one doesn't come ever. So I was so I was so sure that I knew exactly what to do. Because as far as I was concerned, the only thing you needed to get some cooked eggs, and those are some of my favorites, cooked or boiled. You call them boiled, right? Boiled eggs. Those are some of my favorites. So I thought I figured it out. Because the only thing you needed to get those things, those things boiled, and so that I could finish the business before she comes, is just to get those, because we were using the local fire, so we had firewood, and and put that. I just needed to find matches and be able to get that fire on. If I could get that firewood on, I just needed, the only other thing I needed was water. The water was always available. So put some water in that pot. Pot was as well there. So if I could get some water in that pot and get that pot in that coal fire, charcoal, over that charcoal, I got my eggs. I was thinking in the next 10 minutes I'll be ready. Huh?
Do you have?
My mouth was totally wet. I was ready. But what I was not told, because I've seen her do that so many times before, boiling eggs in those same fireplace, with those same firewood, and with those same pots, and just ordinary water inside. There was no chemical, so no magic. I was certain it was going to work out. So I blew the fire. Until my eyes was full of all the smoke. All the smoke filled my head and nose. Everything was coming out, both from the eyes and the nose. For 3 hours, I was struggling. So after 3 hours, I was saying, but this thing. Because what I was looking for. Because when Mama boils those eggs, at a certain stage, they crack. And by the time it cracks, I know it's ready. So when the shell cracks, I see inside the white thing is solid, and then that's when it's cooked. That was how I knew if the thing is cooked or not. Yes, that was the magic. So I was getting the thing for 3 hours, trying to get the fire inside so that the thing will crack. The thing was not cracking for 3 hours. It was not cracking for 3 hours. It was not cracking. So it means it was not boiled enough. So I said, Mama will soon come. Now I was going to be in trouble. So before I get into bigger trouble, maybe, just maybe, that the thing had been cooked, but this was another sort of egg that was not cracking. Let me just find out if it is boiled inside, only it was not coming out. So when I took one and I decided to crack it by myself, everything just flew out. Are you from the village also? So, what was my problem? So I stayed there for another 3 hours. So when Mama came, I tried to clean the place as much as I could. But somehow, she knew what was going on. Could you tell me what happened? She found all the places, the things I had hidden, and even the trash box where I put. She went there and discovered it. Wow, she a magician. She discovered everything. But now, she just beat me and gave me a dirty slap and all that. But that was then, But what she never told me, and nobody told me, I never knew what happened in that village that day. I thought it was all, because my own understanding was because I stole it. So the thing knew I had been stolen, so he refused to boil. But it was much later, when I had moved to Europe and living alone by myself. Okay. So that fire, it varies. So the intensity of the fire and the degree of the fire depends on the heat, the intensity of the heat. Fire was just what was needed, that's all. I never knew that those fire, the intensity determines the heat level. But the heat level that I was having was not strong enough to heat the water to heat like 100 degrees. So the only thing I had was like, even if I put my water, I could even put my hand inside that water a little bit like this. But if I keep it there for a little bit, it will be. So, but I just touch it like that. And but I noticed that water, even if I touch it, it was okay, but it was hot now. Why is this thing not boiling? It was hot now. So at a point, I will put my finger like that. Okay, let me blow the thing more. So I was still putting it, but it was hotter than the 5 minutes before. Or it was hotter than half an hour before. Much hotter than before now, but I could still put my hand inside. But I never knew anything like degrees. Nobody told me that in the village. So I never knew. Because now when I go to, because with Mama, when she puts those eggs there for at the next 5-10 minutes, the things are ready. So why should my own take 6 hours and it's not enough? Nobody told me. So the problem, what I later discovered, was that even though the water did a good job, because it was cold when I put it there, and it went from cold to warm, and then from warm to hot, but I didn't know that degree of hotness also determines anything. So maybe I had from 10 degrees to about 30 degrees, I did a good job. I thought that was because just hot water needs to boil the thing. But that 30 degrees never delivered. Even when I increased the intensity and it got to 45 degrees, and I thought this thing should now cook. Do you think it cooked? No. It never happened. Until I almost killed myself in that place. So what I'm saying is that any commitment, anything that is not 100%, because if that heat had hit 100 degrees, I only needed 5 minutes to boil those eggs. The heat had not hit the intensity. It was not absolute. Such is all your labors, your efforts, your commitments, anything you do. Until you have lost yourself in 100% commitment, it doesn't produce results. You'll just be struggling. Of course, it will be hot. It will be warm. It could even be hot, but it will not cook that egg. You will just not get the result you desire. So anything that is not 100%, any commitment that is not 100% in this kingdom is paralytic. It's just like a woman that is pregnant. If you've ever been pregnant as a woman here, because I was there one day when my wife gave birth. The water could have gone, but you still need to push. So, it will get to a place, you ask the woman, they will tell you, it will get to a place that you are tired. You don't even want to push anything again. You are even ready to do anything you want to do. Maybe if you want to kill me, kill me. If you want to remove the cut up, if you want to remove anything, do anything you want. Just, you are tired of pushing and pressing, and you just want to give up. You don't want to do anything. But you think, even though you are tired, you think the process is being stopped by that, or is hearing your tiredness or anything. You make you tired, or cry, or you shout, or you don't want to, you want to, until the thing is totally absolute, until you have gone through the push and the process is open. Totally, that child will not come out. And you know what normally happens? One common denomination is that a child, a baby, never comes out of a mother until she had given more than she is willing to give. Until she has done more than she is able to. When she's ready to give up and say, I cannot anymore, that's something just come up. Success will always demand your absolute total commitment. It is when the commitment is absolutely total, then you feel the fruit. Fruit doesn't come out of a woman, and fruit doesn't come out of any effort or any commitment or any faith until it is absolute. That's it.